Hello, everybody. Welcome back to this week's LeetCode Contest Corner. It is week 354. This week was, it's about the same as every other week. Um, I got one done, kind of. I feel like I kind of did two. I don't know how to do it better, but it didn't accept it. So, um, I will go through those. Congratulations to Purple Crayon for getting first place. Good job, good job. Yeah, let's get right into it, baby. Um, First one I did was the first one. It's easy, and let me tell you, it is easy. Um, you are given a one indexed integer array nums of length n. An element nums I of nums is called special if I divides into n, i.e. n mod I equals 0. Return the sum of the squares of all special elements of nums. Okay, so um, one first important note, I gotta pay attention to. It says one indexed array. Um, Now we've seen zero index array. We see what that meant. Zero index array means the array starts at 0. So what does 1 mean? It means simple dimple. It starts at 1. Okay. Um, Now, not generally your array doesn't change. Like the arrays I used didn't technically start at 1, but whenever they're talking about it, it'll start at 1, and then there are a couple things that are affected by it, but we'll get into that. But just so like usually the array, this would be 0, 1, 2, 3, but since this is one indexed array, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, like this. So yeah, so they keep that in mind. So then what are we doing here? um it's pretty simple, just doing a calculation, making sure it's working. So we just, okay, sum of squares. This is important. So we need to find each special number, and to put it simply, so the special number, a number is special if the length of the array divided by the number we're looking at. No. Sorry. A number if is special if the length of the array divided by the index of the number we're looking at has a remainder of 0. Okay? So what is this? So this has a length of 4. So 4 divided by 1, since this is not because this is a number, but because that's the spot the 1 is in. The 1, 4 mod 1 is 0, which is 4 mod 1 has a remainder of 0. So then that means this is a special number. So then we want to find the sum of all the special. So we find each special number. So in this case, 1, 2, 2 works for it, and 4 works for it. So then we need to find the sum of the squares. So hopefully you know what a square is. A square is just multiplying a number by itself. So we add, so 1 times 1 plus 2 times 2 plus 4 times 4. And that will give us 21. So let's get into my code. Right here, sum of squares. We're going to return this. Yeah, okay. So first, I created a length variable because I figured I might be using a lot. I think I used it twice, so I saved myself a little bit of time, I guess. I don't know. I decided to make this. It was not the worst idea. And then we got the sum. variable to keep track of what the sum is. Very simple. And then the important part, we got the for loop. Um, this this will go through each number of the array, and in here we'll check if we'll see if we do anything with each number. So this is us going through the array. So then inside of it, this is where the one indexed array becomes important. So we have if length mod I plus 1. So this is important. So since I starts at 0, so this would be going through the array like it's 0 index. So I add 1 to it to make sure it's a 1 indexed array. So starts at it'll start this will the for loop will start at 0, and then this will start at 1 because I will be 0. So yeah, so this is just checking if, right, remember the index, not the actual value of the array, the index will check if that is if it is able to divide into the length. If it does, then we do sum plus equals numsI plus, or numsI times numsI. So that was important. See, yeah, this is a couple issues I ran into already. I didn't notice it, the the one indexed array. Like, I saw it, but I didn't think it mattered. Like, I was like, well, okay, it starts at 1, but I can just do it at 0. But the problem with it is, um, like, obviously they're gonna be different numbers, but then also it'll start at 0, and the reason why they probably did it start at 1, because if you try to divide by 0, then you're gonna have problems. So that's what we had. And then also I thought it was just, I didn't pay attention to the squares part. Sorry. So I just had no, sum plus equals num die, which is wrong because it's they're multiplying, they're being squared. So yeah. So then we keep, so after going through the for loop, the sum will become the right number, and then we can return it. And yeah, then I did it. I think I did that pretty quick. If we go to the leaderboard, actually, yeah, just 12 minutes. It's not bad. It's not bad. Um, Looking at these other people, people doing about 1 minute, I guess, 2 minutes. I don't know. I felt like I did pretty good. Um, okay. So then we go into the next one. Now, what's the next one I tried to do? These two, maybe I should have tried to do them, but I was looking at them. I was like, oh, this is all going over my head. I couldn't figure them out right away. But then length of longest valid substring. I like this was small. I felt like I could do this. So you are given a string word and an array of strings forbidden. A string is called valid if none of the substrings are present in forbidden. Return the length of the longest valid substring of the string word. A substring is a contiguous sequence of characters in a string, possibly empty. Okay, so, um, right. Okay, so this is pretty simple to understand. It's kind of hard to code a little bit, but then it's even harder, and I can't even do it to code well, right? So my issue was I solved it. Like, I ran it myself. It worked beautifully. However, it took too long. So as we get into it, my logic should be correct, but it took too long because the words are big. Um, I feel like, yeah, there's probably ways. probably better ways to do it. Um, I'm kind of brainstorming a little bit now, but I'll show you how I did it, and then maybe I'll give some ideas about how you could. Um, hmm, I think okay, all right. We'll get. Well, I'll show you how I do it. So okay, um, right. I read this out right. Did I read? Yeah, right. Okay. So what is it? What is this saying? Basically, it's saying we need to find the longest. All right. I'll go into code. It's saying okay. All right. We got a word. Let's call it um F F F R T T. Okay. And then let's say a forbidden word is T. Okay. We need to not T, sorry. R. I'm trying to keep this easy. We need to find the longest substring that doesn't have any of this substring. In this case it's only R. Um, so the longest substring of this would be the F's at the front because there's three here. There's also T's at the end, but that substring is just two. And then and then we can't. Aren't any other substrings that wouldn't have included an R in it, and we can't have that substring in it. So so that's what we're looking for. So that's what we're trying to do. So okay. Um, all right. So we go into ours. See, one thing they just had to be a little sneaky. I don't know if this made it easier or harder for anyone. Definitely just I'm not great at lists. Like I get the idea. They're just like like working with it in here was perfectly fine, but when I had to debug it and stuff, like figuring out how to set it up, like, oh come on, this is obnoxious. I don't know why they couldn't have just made this an array. It's not doing anything different. But anyways, okay, so how did I do it? First we start. I have longest in the longest variable. This will hold how long the longest string is, and I have it set at 0 so that in case the string is full of only forbidden strings, then uh we'll return 0, and then that'll be the longest substring. So that is why it is 0. Okay. Now we're gonna get kind of for loop heavy, which is probably where I went wrong. Um, yeah. So, okay. So first we start with int I equals 0, and while I is less than word dot length, I plus plus. So this is we're gonna be looking for substrings, right? And this will be the start of the substring. Um, it'll be I, and then each substring we as we loop through, it'll start at a different spot. It'll start at 0, then it'll be 1, then it'll be 2, so on until we go through the whole word. So that's what I is about. Okay, then we got J. Int J equals word dot length. Well, J is greater than I, J minus minus. This is basically the opposite. This is going to find the end of the word. So um, I will start at 0. So then while I is 0, then we'll check for, okay, 0 to 3, 0 to 2, 0 to 1, and then it won't check because if it's 0, then it'll be equal to I, which is not greater than I, so then it won't go anymore. So then we'll check, okay, then I will become 1, so then we'll go 3, 0, 0 to, or 1 to 3, 1 to 2, and then that's it. And then we got 2, and it's 3 to 2 to 3, and then So that's what this loop is doing. Okay. Then so then here we go. The string current for current, the current word. it equals word.substring I to j. That's the idea. Okay. Then Boolean detected. Um, this I kept this. This is if a word has detected that there's a forbidden word inside of it, then this will turn to true. That's the purpose of this. Otherwise, it'll be false. So that's what the default is. It'll be false. So yes, so we got that here ready. So then this for loop we got here. Um, this is just to go through each of the forbidden words. Um, just simple as any other array for loop, which is why I wish I used array, but whatever. So, okay, and this is where it's tricky. Cur.index of forbidden.getk. So this forbidden.getk, that's saying, hey, get the current forbidden word that we're checking for. And then cur.index of, that's saying, hey, where in cur is the index of this forbidden word? If it isn't in the word, then it will be equal to -1, because if the substring is not in the word, then it will return -1. So then it'll be like, oh, so skip this if statement and then just redo the for loop again. But if it is in, if the forbidden word is in the word, then you know, print this out to help me figure out what I was doing wrong. But then it'll say detected equals true, um, and then just break the for loop, because after that there's a forbidden word. We don't need to check for any more. So just break out of this for loop. So yeah. So then it goes down here. If there is a, so okay, this checks if there's no detected forbidden word and the cur length. So this means it's a good word. It's a word we can use, but then we're also checking if the length is bigger than the current longest length. Then another print thing to make sure I'm doing everything right, and then longest equals cur out length. So this will keep us with the longest word. Then after we then after all these for loops, we'll have gone through all the word lengths and I'll check each forbidden word and stuff. So then after that, we can return the longest. And as far as I know, for all the stuff they gave us, um, that I did everything right. I even tested one myself that and it looked like it did correctly. So yeah, it returned the longest. It works logically, but it is not efficient enough. Um, so, what does that mean? How do we do this better? I'm just racking in my head. I think I kind of had the idea to do this, but it's kind of too. And I don't. Maybe if given enough time, I might be able to do this. But what you want to do, I think, is you want to just focus on the forbidden words. Um, so okay. Um, let's see. So if you got the forbidden words A, B, and C, D, and E, F, um, those are your forbidden words, and you got the word. So the word, who cares what the word is? We want to check. We want to find the index of each of all the. You might need to use a 2D array, but yeah. Anyways, we want to find the index of each uh location of every time a forbidden word occurs, and then also keep track of how long each forbidden word is, and then you can find the distance between them, right? I think that's probably the best way to do it. And then you might get lucky if each of these are -1, meaning they're not in there, and hey, you can just return the length of the entire word. But yeah, so yeah, I think if you want to do this more efficiently, you just want to focus on finding forbidden words. That might see this still doesn't sound too hard, but I have this is a hard question, right? It's literally a hard one, so it's probably pretty tricky. But yeah, so I tried my best, but I guess it wasn't enough. If you guys like, if you can code it yourself, um, let me know. Be like, hey, Blue Thunder, I coded it better. Here's a link to my video where I'm showing you how I did it and how cool I am. Make sure you include those words. Don't just post a link. Post those words and then the link, and then I might trust it. It's got to be a YouTube link, though. I'm not going to freaking your Rule 36 website where you show all your cool codes that give me viruses. um, anyways, yeah. So that's what I did this week. That was week 354. Um, I hope you all guys had a good week so far, and I hope you have a good week this next coming week. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.